How to Pay for the Green New Deal by Yeva Nersisyan and Randall Wray. Student debt relief, free public college, and on-the-job training in the job guarantee. The high cost of college in the U.S. forced many students and their families to make a choice between foregoing higher education or borrowing large sums, often in the form of student loans. Today, there are approximately 44 million people with student loan debt that totals about $1.4 trillion. Heavy debt loads have a variety of undesirable implications, including delinquencies and defaults that affect credit ratings, postponement of family formation and home purchases, reduction of other forms of consumption, and forcing students to choose higher earning occupations that they find less attractive. High cost of education result in lower GDP and employment through a variety of avenues, lower productivity of the workforce, lower consumption levels, lower tax revenues, and hence lower government spending, in particular at the state and local government level. These effects are troubling because the evidence is quite strong that higher education also pays for itself through higher output and employment, as Fulwiler et al. 2018 report. Fulwiler et al. 2018 have simulated the effects of student debt relief on the presumption that the federal government cancels all student loans that it holds and takes over payments on loans that are held privately. They estimate that this would boost GDP by an average of $86 billion to $108 billion each year, $861 billion to $1,083 billion over the 10-year simulation period, about half of 1% of GDP, reduce the unemployment rate by 0.22 to 0.36%, create an average of 1.2 million to 1.5 million new jobs annually, and increase inflation over the baseline by 0.09 to 0.3 percentage points. The net budgetary effects for the federal government would be to increase the deficit by 0.29 to 0.37 percentage points above the baseline, while improving state budgets by 0.11%. In this report, we will not attempt to assess the resources made available or the resource costs of a comprehensive Green New Deal that would provide debt relief through a one-time debt cancellation program. We believe that the net impact would be resource creation. In other words, in terms of resource cost, such a program would generate more resources than it absorbed. For the purposes of our preliminary estimates, we assume student debt relief and free public college to have no net impact, as they increase resource productivity to offset increased demand on resources, college education, homes, and family formation. Likewise, the job guarantee will increase the supply of labor and will improve its productivity through on-the-job training. The job guarantee designs jobs for the workers that come into the program. It takes workers as they are, regardless of job experience, education, or skills. Ideally, training will be part of every job, enhancing skills on the job. Even in less than ideal cases, at least workers are showing up to work, proving they are willing and able to work and developing a work record that can be shared with prospective non-job guarantee employers. Generally, they will be more employable than if they were unemployed, and perhaps losing skills in developing problematic behavior while out of work. While we cannot claim that this will be true for every possible participant in job guarantee work, it will be true on average. By our estimates, the job guarantee will provide full-time work to 15 million potential workers who are now unemployed, out of the labor force, or forced to work only part-time when they want full-time jobs. These workers are available for jobs outside the job guarantee, and many if not most, will become more employable as a result of their job guarantee experience. So not only does the job guarantee provide resources for Green New Deal projects, it can also enhance the labor supply available for non-job guarantee work. In that sense, it increases the productivity of potential labor resources in a manner similar to education. Footnote 22. If workers are hired out of the job guarantee and into private sector work, it is true that some Green New Deal projects will lose workers, somewhat tempered by new entrants to the labor force. For this reason, it is important that at least some of the job guarantee work is off the shelf to absorb fluctuation of job guarantee workers. A typical business cycle can generate a fluctuation of about 4 million workers employed at the peak and then shed at the trough. With a job guarantee in place, that should be somewhat attenuated. Job guarantee employment might fluctuate around 3 million, between perhaps 14 million and 17 million, which should be manageable. End footnote.